Welcome to the WD168. God gives us 168 hours every week to live, love, and serve. This is our take on this 168 from the Western Diocese. The feast of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross, Khachveratz, was celebrated in the Armenian Church on Sunday, September 12th. It is the fifth and last major feast in the Armenian Church calendar. At St. Leon Revondian's Armenian Cathedral, hundreds flocked the spiritual center of the Western Diocese in celebration of the feast day. The day's celebrant was His Grace Bishop Arshak Khachaturian, the Chancellor of the Mother See of Holy ETCHMIADZIN. Among the dignitaries in attendance were the Honorable California State Senator Anthony Portantino, LA City Council member Kevin De Leon, diocesan benefactors and cathedral godfathers who joined the faithful in prayer. Certificates of recognition on the 10th anniversary of the cathedral's consecration were presented to Archbishop Derderian by State Senator Portantino and Council member De Leon on behalf of the State Senate and the Los Angeles City Council, respectively. Following the service, a banquet with hundreds in attendance was held in the Nazareth Encima Collegian Hall in celebration of the cathedral's 10th anniversary. It was dedicated to the memory of the late Armen Hampar, a pillar of the Western Diocese whose unparalleled legacy of service and wholehearted commitment to the Armenian Church has been inspirational for generations. The event was attended by the esteemed members of the Hampar family. A special anniversary program highlighted the accomplishments of the last decade and how the Revondian's Cathedral has established itself as the religious, spiritual, and cultural hub of the Armenian community. Former Diocesan Council Chair and member of the Supreme Spiritual Council, Dr. Varush Altebarmakyan served as the Master of Ceremonies. Remembering the vast contributions of Mr. Armen Hampar, Dr. Altebarmakyan called him a man of integrity and a mentor, an ardent supporter of the diocese and our motherland, respected, loved by everyone, humble and calm and quiet, a strong and visionary leader, and a giant of a person. On behalf of the Hampar family, Gary Hampar, Armen's younger brother, delivered heartfelt remarks reflecting on Armen's love for his family, his church, and the motherland. Remarks were also delivered by the Consul General of the Republic of Armenia, His Excellency Armen Bayburtian, as well as the Chairman of the Diocesan Council, Derek Hukasyan. The event concluded with the benediction of the Diocesan Primate, Archbishop Hovnan Derderian, who called upon the faithful to become true apostles of Christ and the torchbearers of the Christian faith of our forefathers. His Eminence encouraged the children and grandchildren of Armen Hampar to honor his legacy with reverence and to be ambassadors of the Christian faith and the Armenian spirit in the life of the diocese. The guests were entertained by the performances of the Shnorhali Choir, led by Maestro Rafi Mikaelian. Classical music giants composers Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was a 15-year-old teenager, and Ludwig van Beethoven was an infant in the year 1771, when Mission San Gabriel was founded. On September 11th, the Catholic Archdiocese of Los Angeles celebrated the 250th anniversary of the mission. Our diocesan primate was among the ecumenical guests in attendance at the Mass of the opening of the Jubilee year, which was celebrated by the Most Reverend Jose Gomez, the Archbishop of Los Angeles. Last week, the Mother See of Holy ETCHMIADZIN, under the patronage of His Holiness Karagin II, the Catholicos of all Armenians, and with the presence and testimonies of representatives of the government of Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, hosted a two-day conference on international religious freedom and peace, bringing a special focus to the vitality of freedom of religion and preservation of spiritual, cultural, and historical heritage. The conference participants from the worldwide Christian community were deeply moved and inspired by the history of the Armenian people, the first Christian nation to adopt Christianity as a state religion, their survival despite the crime of genocide perpetrated by the Ottoman Empire in 1915, and the horrors of the 2020 Karabakh War, among other perils in history. The participants reaffirmed the principles to the right of freedom of religion or belief as articulated in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and subsequent international and regional human rights treaties. On September 21st, 2021, the Republic of Armenia will mark its 30th anniversary of independence. On September 21st of 1991, the people of Armenia voted in referendum to proclaim their independence from the Soviet Union, thus marking the beginning of a new era in Armenian history. The formation of an independent democratic state helped to preserve and strengthen the national self-consciousness and traditions, and while substantially increasing the role of the Armenian Church in the life of the nation. Today, Armenia is a member of the United Nations, the Commonwealth of Independent States, the Council of Europe, the World Trade Organization, the Eurasian Economic Union, and more than 40 other international organizations. Franklin Delano Roosevelt once said, "We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." The future we envision is one where Christ is at the center of the lives of the youth, and where His divine love is ever present in the hearts of the future leaders of tomorrow, and the respect for centuries-old sacred traditions of the Armenian Church is treated with reverence. With this in mind, the ACYO Central Council successfully organized and completed their first in-person event, the Senior Retreat, since the inception of the pandemic. The Senior Retreat was held at High Camp from September 4th through the 6th under the auspices of Hovnan Serpazan and led by the Very Reverend Father Oshagan Gulgulian from the Eastern Diocese. It was attended by 65 youth from our 18 active parishes. One of the most memorable experiences of the weekend was our Sunday Badarak, conducted by Haid Oshagan. Our youth participated in the Divine Liturgy by singing in the choir, serving as deacons, and following along as the congregation, shares ACYO Chair Victoria Amran. The youth had the opportunity to have an open dialogue with Father Oshagan throughout the weekend, as a way to reintegrate confessions into the church culture. The weekend came to an end with a closing discussion, prayer, and a blessing from the priest. This wraps up our news for this week, and we look forward to reporting the next 168 from the Western Diocese.